was stubborn. I want to make it and prove to the world I was born for something great. But I was too cheap. I never wanted to give anyone my money. I'd always tell myself, I can get that information on YouTube. I can still learn things without having to spend a penny on someone else.
Hey there! I'm Maida Leon, and my mission is to help creatives like you translate what you love to do into a highly profitable income. I'm a mom of 3 who began as a lettering artist and grew it into a 6-figure business. If I made it possible, so can you. Every week, we'll dive deep into topics like building your confidence, getting comfortable talking about money, and nurturing your passion while juggling life and family. So if you're an ambitious creative who wants to craft the life you love, get cozy, feel at home, and listen to the Confident Creator Show.
Hey creators, and welcome to episode 19. Oh, do I have a juicy episode for you today? And I think you can pretty much relate to this. So, has this idea ever crossed your mind? You saw someone selling a workshop or a course, and then you go and tell yourself, why are they even selling that? You can practically get access to everything for free these days. And what about spending thousands of dollars hiring a business coach? Are they nuts? Say it if you've thought this way. No judgment here, because I was exactly like you years ago. I was stubborn. I want to make it and prove to the world I was born for something great. And then I decided I was going to be cheap about it, choosing not to spend my money. And I always tell myself, I can get those information on YouTube and I can still learn new things without having to spend a penny. And the reason for my mindset back then was that I was already making $2,000 to $3,000 monthly from my scrapbook designs. I never dreamed of making it big or earning more because that $2,000 to $3,000 a month, coming from a third world country, I considered that a lot of money. And I was satisfied with that. It's way above the national average in my country, so I have my safety net. And if I can just continue making the same amount every single month, we're good. It was the perfect scenario until it wasn't. In 2012, I gave birth to my son Alphonse, who was born with Down syndrome. He had heart surgery when he was 6 weeks old, and a month after his recovery, we moved to Singapore. We started a new life there. And soon we learned that he would need multiple doctor's appointments, therapies, regular medication for his thyroid. And eventually, we also learned he has profound hearing loss and he would need hearing aids. All of a sudden, the money I was previously making was no longer enough to contribute to the family. Plus, it became even harder to produce the same level of work as I used to before he was born. I made less and less money each month because I can't get more new designs done. And to a scrapbook designer, no new designs means no income. Those were my darkest days, and I was on the verge of depression. I gave my everything to caring for my family, especially my son, but I felt like I was losing myself. And one thing I'm so grateful about is that I was self-aware enough to figure out I need to do something for myself. So to take back some control over my life, I picked a pen and paper and started hand lettering. I started sharing those letters online, and those letters became words and names of people who followed me. It eventually led me to landing my first client work for Minilu Kids, which in turn opened up to more work and helped me create a living from lettering. And eventually, authoring a book that many artists have credited as the book that helped them get started on hand lettering. And then from there, I built the foundations of my business. And my business has transformed so many times, from in-person workshops to online courses, and most recently, coaching and this podcast you're listening to today. And let me tell you something. I didn't achieve any of this by being cheap. Sure, hard work definitely helped me. I still have calluses from all the lettering I did, but I learned late in the game that you don't have to work so hard to get what you want. You only need to work smart. And that's been my advocacy since. But it took me a long time to get to that point. I realized I needed to invest in myself and learn from other people when I started listening to marketing podcasts. It changed my perspective about online courses, and I witnessed how some business owners made it big. But I've always wondered how. What was the one thing they're doing that I don't? So instead of thinking what others are doing, I started focusing on myself and started learning. I soon bought and completed many online courses in self-development, course creation, copywriting, and marketing. And I even signed up for 2 mastermind groups to learn from other successful business owners outside of my industry. I understood the value of what these programs could do for me. They provided me with roadmaps to help me build my business smarter and scale faster. I credit the success and the exponential growth of my business to these investments because it took out all of the guesswork and the learning curve of running a business solo. And I ran my business solo for years. I did the admin, the writing, the course creation, the planning, and answering every single email and DMs you sent me. That's a lot of work. And that's probably where you are right now. Whether you've been doing this for years with not much progress in your business or you're planning to start your own creative business. I also know how scary it is to put down a lot of money to buy a course or join a coaching program. But those are still great investments. So if there's any chance you're thinking about going in for one, do it. And I'm going to give you all the reasons why you need to start investing in yourself. But before I share all of these, I want to be upfront with you. I want to have a transparent relationship with you and not hide things for marketing purposes. So if you've been following me on Instagram, you know that I've just opened up my coaching program, the Elite Creators Inner Circle. It's a 12-week group coaching program for creative business owners to help them scale and grow their business by working smarter, not harder. And I only have 10 spots each time I open this program. And if at the end of this episode you're interested in joining, you can go to mydeleon.com/elitecreators to find out more. All right, so let's get straight to the reasons why you need to start investing in yourself. Number 1, you'll find clarity faster and get through the overwhelm. Like I said earlier on, as a business owner, we tend to run things solo in the beginning. And when you do everything yourself, you're going to be overwhelmed at the number of things you need to accomplish and all the many ideas we generate as creatives. And it's keeping you stuck. So if you're asking questions like, what do I do next? And where should I put my focus on? Oftentimes, the sheer number of things you want to do can leave you frozen. One of my coaching clients, Josh, was in that same position. He's a videographer, and he came to me and shared all the exciting ideas he had in mind, but has no idea where to start. Not to mention, during these pandemic times, he hasn't been able to get new jobs as a videographer, so he needed to do something. We started talking about selling and teaching, but those are things he simply doesn't want to do at the moment. So last week, we had a breakthrough. He finds happiness when he's creating, and he's now putting in all his focus and effort on creating tons of content using new and old footages he captured. He didn't want to rush into making money, and to him, it was all about playing the long game. But he found clarity on what he wanted to do next, which is getting more eyes on his work. So getting more publicity became part of our strategy. Number 2, you'll be able to level up your business faster. Now, if you don't know my good friend Scotty Russell of Perspective Collective yet, I highly recommend you look him up. He's a successful side hustlers coach. And just recently, he sent me a photo of the iPhone calculator with all of his earnings for 2020. It was a total of $109,736. He passed his first 6-figure year in the middle of the COVID pandemic. But before he was doing all that, he was grinding and hustling every single day, juggling his time between work, his creative side hustle, and his family. And he did this for years. He was exhausted and he felt that all the work he put into his business was not coming to fruition faster. Then we started working together. And within a year, he went from selling his coaching services for $100 to a premium offer of $4,000 as of this recording. And I can guarantee you he can still increase his rates because he's changing so many people's lives. He was able to scale his business faster than he has ever done before. It wasn't an easy process for him. Having a full-time job, a family, a new baby on the way, but he was committed to making it work. And I admire his dedication to his craft and his perseverance. That same thing happened to me when I hired my very own coach and started learning from others. When you're learning with a group of people who are committed and hungry for more, you're going to execute at that same level. So if you feel like you haven't moved the needle on your business at all, maybe it's time to look for a mentor. You can either hire one, join a coaching program, or look up to people you admire and see how they're doing things. Number 3, it increases your ability to make more money. Now let's take a look at my client, Jeremy. One of his concerns was that he was afraid he'd always be worried about making money to pay for his coaching. That would then result in thinking of ways to make money instead of executing the strategies he learned from the program. So, we worked together within the first month to remove whatever monetary concerns he was having. And he quickly made $4,000, so it's no longer something he needed to worry about. Now, I don't want you to think that this will happen to you when you get on board any program. Every person's goals are different, and what gave Jeremy his quick win was that he already had been teaching workshops for a long time. So he had all of his content ready to be leveraged and to launch. It depends on where you are in your business and what are the outcomes you want to achieve. For Josh, it wasn't about selling and making money fast. He was willing to wait to work with high-paying clients. Hence, we came up with a way to create more new content to keep up his publicity online. So yes, investing in yourself will help you make money as long as you do the work. It may happen in a month, a year, or you're building up your brand presence for future opportunities. But once you learn the strategies, it's a lot easier to implement. You no longer need to think about what you need to do. You just do it. Number 4, you're going to surround yourself with successful and highly committed people. Ever heard of the saying, surround yourself with successful people and you'll become successful too? Research shows that you pick up the habit and the mindset of the people you associate yourself with. And if you associate yourself with people who have found success, have a positive attitude, and are driven to achieve their goals, you find yourself doing the same thing. You build a support group of like-minded people who will cheer you on in your journey. And in the groups I've been in, I've learned as much from the people that were in these groups as from my coaches. You bounce off ideas, help solve each other's problems, offer resources, and help each other if you're ever stuck somewhere. Not to mention the lifelong connection you're creating with these successful entrepreneurs. I've made friends with all sorts of business owners, from coaches to copywriters and other artists. Their insights and knowledge have been invaluable to me in building my business. And often, they are the very people who understand what you're going through as an entrepreneur. I'm lucky to have a husband that supports me and knows what goes on in my business. But I have known people who had no support from their friends and family. Their only help was from the people they met through these courses or coaching programs. And if you ever feel that way, you're going to find your people in these groups. Now, I'm not saying that you won't find them in the thousands of free Facebook groups, but the level of intimacy and support you get from a group of people who have committed time and money is vastly different. Why? Because usually when it's free, most people don't find value in it, and that's why they don't take action. But when we pay for something, we're more likely to execute because we want a return on our investment. The level of momentum is simply incomparable. So, we have come to the end of this episode. We learned why you need to start investing in yourself if you want to grow your business faster. There are thousands of programs available out there. Find one that suits your business and budget best. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this week I've opened up applications to my group coaching program, the Elite Creators Inner Circle. It's a 12-week program designed to help creative business owners like you scale and accelerate your business. And for this round, I'm only taking in 10 creative entrepreneurs ready to grow and commit to taking action. The applications are pouring in, and I hope you're going to be one of them. This program is at a special 2020 only rate because we all know 2020 has been really challenging. But the year's not over yet, and you still have time to finish it strong and prepare for a bigger and better new year. To apply or to find out more about it, go to mydeleon.com/elitecreators. I hope you enjoyed this episode and somehow enlightened you to start thinking about your growth in a different way. And if you did, don't forget to leave the podcast a review on iTunes. We just reached 3,500 downloads last week, and it may be a small milestone, but it's progress, my friend. So thank you so much for listening. Your support has been fantastic since I launched this podcast, and I hope you continue to support the Confident Creator Show. And as always, keep creating and stay confident. Until next time, this is mine.